Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Why so happy? Because former President Donald Trump was activated as a cell in the United States of America by the evil Putin. And why? Is because he made some comments. He gave his opinion or assessment on the situation, on the issue of Ukraine-Russia war and all that. And that was not appreciated by the President's office of Ukraine, Ukraine's presidential office, which means Zelensky did not like that a bit. So let's see what's going on here. This comes from the new Voice of Ukraine from August 2nd, 2022. I'm reading the headline. President's office slams Trump's scandalous claims about Ukraine. My, what did you do, Donnie? So, Ukraine has reacted sharply to comments by former US President Donald Trump that if Kiev had given up claims to its territory of Crimea and renounced plans to join NATO, it would have prevented Moscow's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. So, Trump made the claims during an appearance on the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show podcast. Ukraine met the claim of Trump, who was impeached for trying to force Ukraine to investigate current US President Joe Biden's son Hunter for alleged corruption in Ukraine, with sharp criticism. Why did I have to put that? Because you have to first destroy his character, and then the bottom feeders that have a short memory, they say, oh, he was a bad president, he was just dumb. What does he know? All right, but he was elected by, let's say half of the electorate. Ukraine's presidential advisor, Mikhailo Podolyak, called Trump's statements nothing more than Russian propaganda. Didn't you all say that he is a Russian asset? He just came out and he just did it. He just showed his face, his true colors. And I'm quoting, Russia would not attack if Ukraine had renounced NATO and Crimea. An absurd ruse propaganda repeated by some Western politicians. But why? Podolyak wrote in a tweet. And I'm quoting, Russia attacked because it wants to destroy Ukraine. Podolyak, you're at the same level with Kamala. So, Russia attacked because it wants to destroy Ukraine, kill children, frighten Europe with its cruelty. No need to look for excuses for non-humans. Russia attacked because it wants to destroy Ukraine, kill children, specifically, boys or girls, or doesn't matter, frighten Europe with its cruelty by barbarians. No need to look for excuses for non-humans. Do you want me to get Mein Kampf and show you how that gentleman, considered the Slavs to be subhumans? This guy considers the Russians non-humans. So not subhumans, non-humans. Woo-hoo! Some people claimed that the Russians invaded Ukraine in order to get rid of the Nazis in the Ukrainian government and in the military. No need to look for excuses for non-humans. Well, that's very, very much like Nazi. Even worse. I mean, non-human. Subhuman, I heard. Barely human, but non-human. Übermensch, I heard, but that's a superior man, That means it's an inferior man. Like, you have soccer players. That's a better player and a worse player. They're both players. Some are better at this soccer. Some of them are worse. All right, let's go with this. I'm going to come back to this. I can't just let it go like this. And I'm quoting, maybe he says more. I'm quoting, and now I don't think he wants to make a deal, Trump said. I think it's much tougher to make a deal. He's blowing up the whole piece. I mean, he'll take over the whole place. And it's very, very sad to watch what happened with Ukraine. Very, very sad. That was President Trump, former. The former US president also claimed that he did not believe Putin wanted to invade the whole country before. But then he said that he now believes Putin will try to do so. I would like to see the quote on that one. All right. So what did Trump say? What do you think he said that was inaccurate? What he said was accurate, but when you say but, that destroys whatever you said you agreed with. But who said that you're supposed to give part of your land, that you think it's your land, it's your territory? All right. So then who says that you should not join an alliance if you want to, right? I mean, these are very, very legitimate counter arguments to whatever Trump said, right? But on the other hand, that principle of my security should not damage your security. So if I work for my security, and my security working on behalf of my security will create you to feel insecure, that's a principle that has to be respected. And in this case, the Russians kept saying, you guys are going to come closer to me, I'm not going to be safe. My security is damaged if you bring NATO and your installation next to my territory. Is that valid? I think it is. Isn't it? It is. Now, about the territory. The Ukrainians claim those territories. Those are part of Ukraine. How do you call it? Politically, they are over there. They were over there. Now, what happened? Why do you send tanks to your people over there? Oh, because the Russians sent anything over there? But why did those guys want to separate? Oh, because of the coup that was supported by some, outside forces? Is that what it was? It was a toppling of a democratically elected government in 2014, Yanukovych. By whom? And it was violent. People died. And that was helped and promoted by the guys from the West. And when those guys came into power, that guy fled. Who recognized the government? Zimbabwe, remember? The guys, the sponsors. And this guy said, no, we don't recognize you. Why would we recognize you? You just toppled a legitimate, democratically elected government. What are you? You're illegitimate. And what they do? They started talking about, and they acted against the Russian language and so on, against the Ukrainians in the east. And then they sent the tanks. When this guy said, you know what? We're not part of you. We want to separate. Oh, yeah? Okay. We want to show you separation right now. Thanks. Go. So, it was part, but it was mistake after mistake after mistake. You can say, well, remember the Kosovo? The same thing, right? To a certain extent. The Serbs were slaughtering Albanians and and Albanians wanted to separate and have their own territory and so on. And what did the defensive alliance do? NATO bombed Serbia, so Yugoslavia in 1999, so they allowed these guys self-determination because those guys, the Serbs, were slaughtering the Albanians, the Kosovarians. No connection between these two events? Don't seem similar? And why do we look at one event in a certain way and the other one differently? We apply different rules because we think we're right and they're wrong, and we don't care. Why? Because we got the muscle. So I don't know if Trump was right or wrong, but in his brain and his argument, I think it's a valid argument. Regarding the non-human, I will take that to the bank, and I will have to remember, this is the presidency, right? The presidential advisor, Mikhailo Podolyak, Ukraine's presidential advisor, talks about the Russians as being non-humans. Thank you very much. I want to see, and please let me know if you see any politician from the West condemning that statement. But let's say Putin would have said that, or let's say God forbid, former President Trump would have said, oh, I know, the French are subhuman, or the Ukrainians are subhuman. He would be gone, done, tarred, feathered, and thrown into the Atlantic Ocean. But here, nothing to see. Move on. But I will not move on. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, Mr. Podolyak. Look for the truth and be just. Thank you.